All right, let's do this. My first YouTube video, I told myself I would do this on today. So here we go. My name is Ashley, and you might know me from TikTok already, Ashley Summer Zero. And here I am with my first YouTube video. This is so weird. It's so different from TikTok. So bear with me. I guarantee you that the quality of this video is going to get better over time. So stop with that. Basically, I stopped fearing being myself this time last year and decided to take the plunge and just be who I was meant to be. I decided to choose my own happiness in that way, and it's led me down this path connecting with so many different people, and I am here on YouTube to connect with you. I've asked a bunch of questions of my Instagram followers, and I'm just going to go with those things. Just a little bit about me. I'm a psychic medium, and I do tarot readings. I sling tarot cards for a living. Right now I'm pretty booked up with that, so I'm expanding my platform to YouTube. I never thought I'd be on YouTube. I always watched YouTubers, never thought I'd be on here, but here I am. I went on my Instagram and asked my followers there to see like what you guys might want to know about me, because I don't think I'm that interesting. I mean, I am, but I'm a pretty private person. I don't like talking about myself. I'm much more of a like answer questions for other people, help other people out type of person. Like I can find out anything about you, not so much about me, if that makes sense. But I'll just start. I have my notebook full of questions. Nina asked me, do I have any siblings? Yes, I do. I have two younger sisters, one who's 28. I have another one who's 19. Yeah. I'm the oldest. I'm 30. We're really tight. I have a really tight-knit family. We may not talk every single day, but we're one of those families that always has each other's backs. And like every family has its flaws. I know my family is not perfect, but I will say about when it comes to my family, like there's nothing that we wouldn't do for each other. We would put our crap aside to help one another if we needed it. So my sisters are everything to me. Before I had my daughter, before I had any of that, I was always watching them, and there's no, aside from April, my daughter, there's no one that I would care for more, come to their aid more than my sisters. So next question. Every rose has a thorn wants to know, what signs did I see as a kid that I now realize are spiritual? I saw spirits. I did see ghosts. I felt things all the time. Very vivid dreams. I now realize somewhat are like astral projection. And that was kind of a kicker. Learning that more recently. I've been doing that for quite some time. And I have quite a bit of control doing that now. That's why it feels so natural. I've been doing that since I was little. But yeah, I've always been interested in the occult, astrology. I've always been interested in this stuff. I've always been learning about religions. I've always been learning about different cultures, and I've always had an intuition. I know that the learning interests aren't spiritual, but I've always had an intuition. I've always been the person that people ask for advice. I've never been lost. Like I can go out into the woods and never get lost. And now I know that's a clairaudient thing. Conversations in my head are actually things. And another user asked me, how did I get started on my spiritual path? And I think this question is so interesting because when people think of a spiritual person, they always think of someone who's like hippy dippy, like what I'm doing now. But I've always felt a connection. I've always known something bigger was there. I was raised Southern Baptist, and even though that's not a thing I identify with anymore, I've always felt something more. I've always understood that. And so I don't consider this to be the start. I consider this to be my start. But as far as being spiritual and being in tune and wanting to be to know what's out there and having a connection with what's out there. I don't remember a time where I wasn't. However, I do remember a time where I didn't talk about it, and that was most of my life. Ruby Redwing wants to know how I became a witch. I honestly hate calling myself a witch because I think that that word has been misused for so long, and to think that someone would be accused of witchcraft and kill for the things that I do, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't, I feel like it's not, it doesn't accurately describe what I do. But I do practice witchcraft to some degree. Like, I can do spells and things like that, but 90% of what I do is energetic. 90% of what I do is astral shit. It's very energetic healing, that sort of thing. I can change things with my mind. And that's not witchcraft. That's not something you'll ever find in a grimoire. He asked me, does hell exist? God is love. Why would such a place exist if all sin was forgiven? Miss Tammy, I agree with you that God is love. And I don't think that hell exists in the way that we think it does. From what I understand, I guess, like, okay, so humans are like master manifestors, right? And we can manifest anything. We have so much power in our thoughts. So if enough people believe that there's a fiery lake of hell, that's going to be created. However, do you get sent there? Because there is a place, essentially, from what I understand, there is a place on the sun that would be like hell. And the gods never send you there. It's something that we created. I only know, I asked an angel, he told me. And yeah, so there is a place that like hell that exists, but no one goes there, no one's sent there. In my view, even before I stopped calling myself a Christian, I stopped believing in hell because I think that hell is the absence of God. Whatever God means to you is whatever it means to you, but hell is the absence of the divine. What do you think Earth is? This place is hell. What? No, absolutely not. He wants to know, have I always been so confident? Bitch, no, I have not always been confident. Matter of fact, I've been making this video off for so long because I'm so nervous. But I mean, I moved, like, I think I said in the beginning, like, I'm an Army brat. I moved every 1 to 2 years the first 13 years of my life. So I know how to fake it. I know how to fake it really well, because that's how you have to learn to survive, to have like a social life as a child. So I know how to put on a brave face. And that's what I know how to do. I am confident now. I'm more confident now than I was before. But I mean, everyone has some self-confidence, like some self-doubt sometimes, but I will say, no, I have not always been this confident. You were talking to someone who used to be afraid to say her name, like say present at the beginning of class. When I was in kindergarten, the teacher used to like make us do a dance to begin the day. And my mom literally had to write the teacher a note saying, hey, don't make Ashley dance in front of everyone. She's too shy. And like, I stayed out of the group the entire year. I never danced with everybody else. I was so shy, and I've always been known for being shy. And it's like so insane to me that I'm on the internet right now talking to complete strangers and telling you that. Like, I cannot believe who I am right now. How did I know I was spiritually gifted? I guess when I started talking about it with people, when I started predicting things, when I started using my gifts, when I started doing the things I'm doing, like it just, you have to start. And being around other people who are gifted, and having that affirmed for me, like, I don't even know how to explain this. because sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm any different from anybody else, but I know that there is something different about me. And that's not to be like, I always feel like I don't want to brag. I don't want to brag. I don't want to talk about myself, because these things are gifts and they're not to be boasted or bragged about, but I am allowed to be proud of myself. I think it would be wrong to not share a gift. And that's my opinion. But how did I know? When I started using them, and I've never been wrong. I've been doing tarot readings and medium readings for 6 months full time. I've never had one reading tell me that I was wrong or that didn't resonate, except for one, and that person had their husband sitting with them. And so, of course, it's going to be a little off. I've never been wrong, ever. So no, did tarot reading come naturally to me, or did I have to develop intuition? Yes. That's not to say that I didn't like learn how to do it, but you're talking to someone who's like a massive nerd, a master teacher's pet. And so I just applied my same study skills that I learned in school towards learning tarot. I got a notebook and I studied. I know how to study really well. So that's what I did. And I taught myself how to do tarot. But as far as intuition goes, like, I think what's helpful with my using tarot is like, I have always had an interest in history and art and all of those types of things. So understanding symbolism, understanding art, understanding like history, and then applying that to what the picture means, that's very helpful. And so maybe that's why I picked it up faster than maybe someone else. Also, I have a really long memory. So even though I have ADHD and like I ping, 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 if you practice over and over and over, which is what I was doing, and then you start doing readings for other people on a day-to-day basis, practice makes perfect. That's what it is. So if you're out there wanting to learn tarot, just do it. Stop overthinking it, just do it. Keep a log. That's it. Will say though, I do think that there are people who are like that's their gift. I don't think everyone's a great reader. I will say that. And that's not to gatekeep. I just think that there's some things that some people are better at than others, and that's okay. Like, I might be a good tarot reader, but like, damn, I suck at keeping my plants alive. Like, I have my roses right here and I water them and I do what they're supposed to, and they're already wilting. Like, I suck at keeping plants alive. I try really hard, but that's just not my thing. Earth asked me what my favorite type of readings are to do. My favorite readings, I honestly really like love and relationship readings. I know that's like really basic, but I'm very single. I've not ever had a relationship that was meaningful. And so, but I understand relationships really well, because I have always been my friend. I've seen so many. I've done, oh my gosh, so much field research on relationships. But I really do like relationship readings because I get to live, one, vicariously through you. And secondly, I think your relationships are so defining about your human experience, and that's it. I like doing those. I do like past life readings to an extent. It's not that I don't like doing past life readings. They're like probably my second favorite, but they're very difficult in that like they're very exhausting. And sometimes the people that are getting past life readings don't necessarily need them. Like I'll have an appointment happening, and I'm like, you don't need to talk about your past life. We need to talk about what's going on right now. But they paid for a past life reading, so I can't just bypass that, if that makes sense. But my favorite kind of readings are love readings and past life readings. Someone asked me, where do I hope my practice evolves to, or where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? I don't want to be doing tarot readings day in, day out. If I do readings, I don't want to charge for them. I honestly, my goals for myself are not oriented in my craft. they're not oriented in my job. In 5 to 10 years, I want to be with someone long term, and I wouldn't mind having another kid, and I want to be traveling more. So if I need to do tarot readings or some other kind of business in order to pay for that, I'll do that. But I honestly don't like planning that far in advance. I just want to be happy and healthy. I want my daughter to be happy and healthy, and I want to be in a relationship that's meaningful. Like I said, I'm 30 years old. I'd really like that. I'd like to see the world. Asking me, how did I know when to take the plunge and start my own business? My readings, my guides were telling me over and over and over that I needed to quit. And I was so afraid because I've never done this. I've only ever worked for a corporate situation. And I don't know. I knew I had to quit. And I had a plan. And I was like, you know what? If I have my taxes back by February, like, I'll quit. I'll quit when I get my tax return back because I'll have that like cushion. And January 4th, I'll never forget it. I pulled the Ace of Pentacles reversed, and that card means like you're being offered an opportunity, but you're hesitating essentially. And I was like, I know I have to quit this job, but I can't just quit like my other job. And that day I got fired from my job, and I've never smiled so big while getting fired. I don't think I've ever smiled while getting fired. I've only been fired one other time, but I was happy to be fired. And I was worried for no reason. I've had unbelievable success since then. And so if you're feeling like you're being called to do something else, then go fucking do it. It's the best decision I ever made. And like the corporate jobs will always be there, but you won't. You won't. Take the risk on yourself. Stop taking risks for corporate people. Ask me, how do I perceive the dead? My grandma died last year. Would she look the same? It honestly depends. So when I see the dead as like your spirit guides, I see them like in their prime. It depends on the dead person, to be perfectly honest with you. A lot of relatives, I will see them in their prime. Like my grandmother, for example, she died when she was like 60 something. She had cancer, all this stuff. I see her in her 20s in her prime. My grandfather, I see him in his 20s in his prime. But there are people who died very suddenly, or other circumstances that I don't bring it up, but like they're not as pretty. It's not as pretty. And it's because they have some unfinished business, if that makes sense. If they've got their business finished and they're just hanging out just to check in, I see them at their prime. My last question is, did I go to college? Like 4 times. It didn't work out. Maybe I'll finish one day. But I originally went to college for anthropology because I want to be an archaeologist my entire life. And yeah, didn't work out 4 times. My neighbors never shut up. So either way, that's not to say that you shouldn't go to college. I wish I had finished it when I first started, because that was the goal that I always worked towards like my entire life. From the time I was 5, I knew I wanted to go to college. And then that didn't work out like after the first semester of my freshman year. Good times. Yeah, college isn't for everyone. I mean, honestly, like what am I going to learn? What am I going to do in college? I'd be teaching the class. I had a few people asking me, how was I brought up? What were my beliefs brought up? I was born and raised Southern Baptist. I said the sinner's prayer when I was 5. So I was saved when I was 5. And then I got baptized in the Southern Baptist Church of Clarksville, Tennessee when I was 8. And I was very much a Christian up until this time last year. That's how I defined myself. But as I began to follow what God was showing me, the more I realized I was not a Christian, or did not identify with that institution anymore. And now I don't call myself that at all. I don't pray to the Christian God or anything like that. I don't subscribe to those beliefs anymore. But that's not to say I don't love Jesus. And there is truth in the Bible. But the way that truth is taught is wrong, in my opinion. That sums that up. That sums that up. But I don't want to alienate anybody out there who is a Christian. Like, I love all of you. I don't care where you come from. I don't care how bad you think you are. I might have my shit together now. I've not always been this way. And you would be surprised what I've seen and done myself. I'm just here to help people and just spread information about this stuff. Where else can you go? Most of you probably are the only ones in your neighborhood that do the things you're doing. And I understand how that feels. And I've done my homework, I've done my research, and I would love to be a part of your journey to help you figure out where you're supposed to go. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'll give you my best advice for what I would do. This concludes my first YouTube video. All the questions that I deemed worthy of this video have been answered. If you want to know anything else about me, I can do more Q&A videos, but add me on Twitter, add me on Instagram, add me on TikTok. I'll see you there. I plan on posting at least once weekly about different subjects. If there's something in specifically you want to know about, put it in the comments. I'll make a video. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer your questions, not tell you things I think you should know. But name a subject, let's talk about it. I'm not afraid of anything. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon.